To more Plague Inc. Evolved with our official Scenarios Mega Brutal Guide series, picking up with the new Aliens and Anti-Vaxxers DLC. The next on our list is Cure Mania. The world's gone cure crazy. Scientists are obsessively coordinated and sharing breakthroughs in real time across every border. And see, this is where we have something called suspension of disbelief, because we all know that would never happen. Cure planes will launch earlier and much more frequently, and they're not kidding about this. Can your disease survive when the skies are painted blue? And the answer is going to be a resounding yes. You can pick any disease type you want for this scenario, with the exception of the special diseases like the Neurax worm, simian flu, shadow plague, and so on. I'll go for a regular bacteria type because, like, if you can play with the bacteria, you can do just about anything. The one really big change I would recommend is to go for catalytic switch instead of ATP boost. Yeah, you're going to have a slightly slower early game, and that does suck. But you're going to end up getting so much free DNA from these blue bubbles, you'll be able to fuel pretty much your entire late game just from that. It's crazy how many blue bubbles we're going to get. Genetic Mimic, I think, is going to be a must here. Then we have Aquastatic Extremophile and Symptostasis, Mega Brutal, and I'll just call this one Anti-Nerd because I guess a lot of scientists are trying to work on me, and they're just a bunch of nerds. Anyway, let's go ahead and start off in Saudi Arabia, as we usually do. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and play kind of a normal game. There's only a couple of small changes that I think I would end up making in my build order from a pretty standard bacteria or virus build. I am to be going for things like the rash, skin lesions, and so on a little bit sooner. Sure, then I'll go for coughing and sneezing, blah, blah, blah. Things you're used to seeing. The real change is I'm going to go for paranoia shortly after that. Oftentimes, I end up skipping paranoia, but in this case, slowing down when people are going to go to the doctor and seek help and medical treatment, that can slow down the cure progress just a tiny little bit before it even gets started. Buys you a little bit of precious time, because when they start working on the cure, they are going to work on it very, very quickly. So we've got our coughing and sneezing, we've got our insomnia. Next, we'll go for paranoia, just need 2 more DNA points. And then we can start thinking about regular transmissions and not even worry about it. I need 9 DNA to go for some air transmissions. By this point, we're going to start spreading fairly quickly in Saudi Arabia. I think we'll hit critical mass in maybe about 10 seconds or so. This is a decent amount of severity at this stage of the game. It's pretty reasonable. I'm not too upset about it, so we'll be getting a decent amount of bonus DNA just from that alone. I'll probably end up going for things like Air 2 first, then we'll go for some water transmission. And for that, I need 15 DNA. I was 1 off. My bad. You'd think I'd have these things memorized by now, but I do not. We also definitely will want to go for some livestock transmission, since it looks like we are getting into Russia reasonably quickly, and we want to get into Greenland if and we can. Though getting 18 points here for a little bit of water transmission would not be a bad idea. Then we can focus on all the other good stuff. Honestly, I do think that I used to focus on getting drug resistance a little bit too early. I think at least getting the first level of cold resistance is technically a higher priority, just because Russia is not considered to be a wealthy country. So you kind of want to get that bonus transmission going there. The drug resistance is nice and all, but it's not as critical, and Russia's kind of the big country that you're worried about. So I'll go ahead and pick those up, grab drug resistance level 1. Now we can start worrying about things like drug resistance level 2. But first I'll go back to transmissions, grab things like livestock, and we'll start spreading a little bit faster over there in Russia. It's kind of still taking a bit, but that's okay. We got immune suppression. Didn't really want that. I'll go ahead and refund it. We will pick up pneumonia, since that's also some cold bonuses there. And I'll go ahead and pick up cysts and hypersensitivity, because that's kind of nice in some of the wealthy countries as well. Not a bad option for us. Could go for abscesses. That would be a bit too much severity, though. Notice, they still are only just barely working on the cure. So, like, even though we've made some pretty substantial progress, we've got a lot of good stuff going on over here, like, are the blue bubbles popping up and freaking out? No, it's really not that bad yet. So, like, we've got time. We even got into Greenland shockingly early. Now, that doesn't happen very often. Cool. I'm going to go for a round of bird transmission just to make sure I get into adjacent countries, and that should be all I really need when it comes to... Oh, there we go. See, that's all I really need. Now we're about to get blue bubbles. Now, the first one that lands, no big deal. We get like 1 point. Then they're going to return home. We get a little bit more. The more this builds up, the more nations are working on this, at some point we're going to start getting so many blue cure bubbles, it is going to be ridiculous. Do I want to go for the extreme bioaerosol to make sure we get into the Caribbean a little bit faster? Could do that, but then go for the drug resistance instead and a level of genetic hardening just to slow things down. Necrosis mutated for free. Honestly, that's not the worst thing in the world for me. The timing is almost right. I'm risking not getting into the Caribbean, but if Mexico does me a solid, we'll end up being fine. Then Iceland, weirdly, has not actually been infected yet either. Huh, not sure how that happened, but okay, we'll go with it anyway. I will pick up the extreme bioaerosol then. Let's just be safe. So yeah, blue bubbles popping up all over the place. Boom, 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 boom. Look at all the free DNA coming in. Is it a lot of DNA? No, but is it great? Also, yes. Boom, boom, boom. What are we missing here? Are we getting into Iceland? Come on, Iceland. Do me a favor here. Just get in there. We got to have a boat route into Iceland, right? We gotta. It's gotta happen. Let's go for paralysis, then we can work toward things like coma. Again, slowing down the cure is kind of all that we really care about. There's Iceland. All right, so the slower the cure is going to be, the more basically just DNA I get. That's it. It's really that straightforward. I will go for things like total organ failure, since I'm really not feeling too worried about whether or not we're killing too fast here. Look how many blue planes are flying all over. I count at least 5. We just got a whole load of free DNA. Let's go for seizures and then work toward insanity again. Anything that slows down the cure is your top priority here. Canada is surprisingly holding out on me right now. I'm not too sure what's going on there. We've got our cold resistance. I'll pick up at least maybe 2 levels of bacterial resilience just to speed this up. Wouldn't be able to do that with any other disease type, but since we are the bacteria, we might as well make use of it. Yes, they're working on that cure pretty effectively. I am aware. I don't care. It's completely fine. We've got lots of DNA flowing in right now as we start killing. Let's go for the hemorrhagic shock. That's pretty good. Inflammation won't do me much good. I'm looking for anything else. There's nothing else here that's going to help me when it comes to the disease. So I think all we really care about is stuff like genetic hardening and then just some genetic reshuffles. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some genetic reshuffles at this point because I think we should be able to kill very, very quickly, and I think we'll have just enough DNA to make this work. Actually, we can go ahead and do both. Let's grab genetic hardening now, slow this down even further. How are we doing as far as cure potential? It's basically gone, so we're going to just keep getting all these blue bubbles, even though realistically, they're not actually working on the cure almost at all. 2 more levels of genetic reshuffle is a very good way to reset things back down to only 46%. I'll be honest, I kind of expected a bit more there, but that's probably fine. Let's go for tumors. Let's go for internal hemorrhaging. Let's go for the immune suppression. Anything that just kills a smidge faster. We're now killing a few million per day, and the blue planes all of a sudden have come to a resounding end. They are gone. Bye-bye. So now you're all going to die. There we go. Thank you. Anti-Nerd has destroyed humanity, and we get 2 stars. Now, if we had gone a little bit faster here, yeah, we could have possibly gotten a 3rd star here. I don't know what the break point is when it comes to the total score, but the point is, this is not a very difficult scenario. It's a lot harder if you don't get the catalytic switch. Admittedly, the extra DNA is really, really helpful, but if you just know to make that change and then you focus on anything that's going to reduce the cure progress, like the coma, like the insanity, well, then you can just play as normal, and it's completely fine. So I would say out of the bunch, this is probably one of the easiest scenarios that was introduced in the game. It's fun and all, but yeah, not much of a challenge on Mega Brutal. Certainly not for me, and any of you who have been following along and know all the proper strategies. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I'd ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you join the Discord server if you want to talk more Plague Inc., and I will see you guys next time.